I just thought to myself before when I was like really big, I was like, man, if I fell in a hole and had to get out, like I couldn't. Like that's pretty
Okay. Yeah.
It's like,
but real.
it's like if I wanted to get out of there, I couldn't. I'm like, that's not acceptable. I feel like at least as a baseline human, you should be able to
get out of a hole.
Get out of a hole. At least pull yourself up and over something, right? So I remember.
Hey, thanks for listening to the Badass Dad podcast, where we are a band of brothers committed to forging stronger fathers. Hey, get connected with us. You can go to our website, new and updated website, BadAssDads.org. That is BadAssDads.org. Hey, sign up for our email list where you'll be getting the most up-to-date content and some behind-the-scenes things as well as exclusive content. Follow us on Instagram at Badass Dads Podcast. You can also do me a favor. My one ask for you is subscribe and write a review and rate this podcast. Give us 5 stars, leave us a review. We're going to be sending out some swag, some t-shirts and things to people who leave a review for us. So please do that and follow us on all those different forms. Have a badass day. Welcome to the Badass Dad podcast. KDH here on the microphone in the Iron Yeti studios, and very excited to have my good buddy, Kevin Talbot. KT, how you doing?
Good. Feeling good today.
Yeah, feeling good today? Hey, man, we're going to talk a little bit about your journey, and we're going to talk about my journey as well and the impact that you had on my life, specifically in the area of fitness and weight loss. And I text you this because, I don't know, I guess we're still in the midst of, which is crazy, this COVID thing. And so I've started hearing people talk about, well, I got my COVID-15 or whatever. And, that's, I've been working hard to try to, maintain. And so I want to tell a little bit about your journey. We'll talk a little bit about my journey. And then because, the thing that I admire is now here you are coming up on a decade of a lifestyle really changed. That the benefit was, lost a ton of weight, but most people don't do that. Most people go for 30 days or 60 days or 90 days or maybe even a year, and they'll lose all this, crazy weight loss, but then they're right back in a worse position. So I want us to talk, we're going to talk some strategy. Okay. But mostly the psychology.
Sure.
Okay. So let's back up the truck a little bit, and we'll start, it was freshman year in college.
Mm-hmm.
So pretty athletic kid growing up, right?
Yeah, I played sports year round all the time.
Okay.
Always running around getting after it. Now still a big kid.
Okay. When you say big, give me a perspective.
When I was young, It's hard to tell before I was 18, I don't remember the numbers, but I remember always going to the doctor and then, weighing me on the scale. My mom's going like, geez, like that kind of,
yeah.
I always knew I was bigger. And then my parents would sometimes try to get me to eat a little differently so I could just tell. And then, I went to Catholic school growing up. We had to go to a little uniform depot, and they were like, we need the husky pants for him. I was like, okay. So I was wearing husky pants.
Okay. As a kid.
As a kid.
And so in freshman year in college, now 6'1", 6'2", how tall are you?
6'1".
6'1". Okay, 6'1", and you knock over 300 bills.
I did. I don't remember any of my weights.
Okay.
From college, except after my freshman year, I had to go. I remember going home and going back to the doctor for the first time, and I was at like 330.
Oh, wow.
After my freshman year.
Were you, okay.
So I think going in, I had to be like 280, 290, high school weights, 270, somewhere in there. I don't know. I was big. But then, lack of playing sports and those, the dining room food and the pizza runs at night.
Yeah.
So did not help.
Any idea, like before you stepped on the scale at 330, any idea that that's where you were?
No.
So no idea.
No concept of what I weighed or anything.
It's kind of hard.
And the doctor was just like, you weigh 330 pounds. You have high blood pressure. I'm concerned about you right now. I was like,
and you're 19 years old. 19. Holy crap.
Yeah. And I remember walking away from that just feeling terrible. Like, holy crap. How did I get to this point?
Yeah.
And that wasn't even my biggest I got to, because I got bigger. After that, I think I got closer to, 350, 360, somewhere in that range.
Okay.
But that's like a moment in time when hearing it the first time how much I weighed.
Yeah. And it's just kind of happening.
Yeah, I think when I look back and I was a kid, and I kind of told you this, and I went through some kind of hard things personally and then with my family. And I remember just eating when I look back in memories, like sneaking food, like always eating at the barbecue. Like, so, some kids, like some of my kids, they'll leave food on their plate. Like that was not me. I was searching for more always. So I think I must have had something younger that just drew me to food more than other kids. And I did go through some harder stuff. And so that probably, I bet it was a coping mechanism just looking back, where I always ate. And even in high school, I remember going out and getting sodas all the time and, going to the fast food places and just getting double what other people were getting. So,
so
I was definitely eating.
So you can consciously remember I eat more than other people.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
And like the joy I got out of it was not it was not a good kind of, like I definitely sought it out, probably for some kind of comfort. Again, this is like kind of looking back in hindsight, but in the moment I remembered like I shouldn't be doing this, but I'm doing it anyways. Right. Like I knew it wasn't right.
Okay. So you had the devil on one side and the angel on the other side, kind of talking to you through that process. And, so you see the doctor, and there's a little bit of a wake up call here, but not totally. I mean, you're kind of like, holy crap, I'm 19 years old, and he says maybe there's some heart things, high blood pressure, whatever, and I got to be aware. But that's not enough.
Right. It's not enough to make lasting change. I think after that, I jumped on my bike over that summer a little more and tried to get some rides in, but I didn't really clean up my diet. It's hard to remember that far.
Yeah.
I'm getting old now. I'm starting to get up there. But I remember like I would try to do different things, and even through college, like for the next 4 years, I definitely tried different workout routines and different programs. I kind of got introduced to fitness and nutrition at a really low level, just kind of introductory. The one I had the most success with way back in the day was the Bill Phillips Body for Life.
Oh yeah. Love Bill Phillips.
Yeah, I listened to him on a podcast recently and went back and looked at the information. Awesome.
Yeah.
I would still highly recommend that book.
Great book.
Great book.
Body for Life.
Body for Life. And the workouts are good.
Yeah.
It was a great intro. So I remember trying to do that in college for a while. And I did see so I would see success on the order of probably losing 20 to 30 pounds here and there, and kind of just like, I probably got my weight closer to 330, 310, and probably just hovered between there for a while.
Okay, so still a big boy.
Yep, still big.
Still a big boy. And that really carries on through your mid-20s.
Yes. So through my mid-20s, through meeting Molly, my wife, and dating her, once I got out of college and was like working, and I was like, oh wow, if I want to find a partner, I should probably not look like a blob.
Okay. So sex definitely drives you.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So mid 20s now, and there's an event that happens that is even more of a wake up call for you.
Yes, I get married, and then we have our daughter, and that was like up to that point, I think getting married and having a wife, we were definitely. I was like, okay, we should probably be healthier together. But also, like when you're with your girlfriend, your wife, whoever, and you're like, hey, we're about to put down this like pizza and ice cream tonight. You're like, hell yeah, we're going after
pound it.
Yeah, because you're both flawed. So you're both gonna get after it together in the wrong way sometimes.
Yeah.
But I think holding my daughter for the first time and seeing pictures of myself with her. I know you get a moment where you saw a picture of yourself, and just being, I'm responsible for this girl. She's a couple days old, and I look like I'm about to explode, right?
Yeah.
And just, I remember that feeling of, I think I told you this before, with getting married or having kids, I had this like finality, these nightmares that would come, or just dreams where I think about, until death do us part in marriage, or like, wow, I'm going to be with this human until I'm dead.
Yeah.
Right. It's just, I know it's a weird way to put that, but I remember that really freaked me out, and just thinking of, will I be able to run around and keep up with them? Can I walking her down the aisle was the big one.
Okay.
Like how do I want to walk down the aisle with her?
Yeah.
And we're just visually thinking like, do I want to be, on an oxygen tank with these sweatpants because I can't fit into regular pants, right?
Yeah.
And really vividly thinking about what my life would be, projecting it. And that was a wake up call.
Well, you mentioned my journey, it was, 4 years ago. We were down just outside of Waco, Texas. I have a cousin who lives down there, and we were out at Tonka Falls, and there was this, it was one of those things that I was like, oh yeah, I'm out of shape. I'm a little bit this. And it was all these like, softeners, whatever, it's not really that bad. I need to lose a few pounds or whatever. And I just remember seeing a picture. And I showed you the picture. And I just remember going, holy shit.
Yeah, you show me the picture and you're like, what is this? Like, I don't know, man, we could work on this.
and there was, for me, there was a couple of things. I remember being like pissed off at a couple of my buddies and going, how in the world did you not tackle me, and like whatever. And it was one of those things that, life and business and going out to lunches and all these things are just, it just kind of slowly but surely just, compounding effect, for me. But seeing that picture was it. And that's when I came and I sat down with you and I knew enough of your story and I said, hey, I need help. Mm-hmm. And, we started working on a program, and, jiu-jitsu entered my world, kind of similar season as well. And so just, for me, it was seeing that picture and going, wow, is this who I've become?
Yeah. And I think some of it is, for me, it was my daughter. For you, it was the picture. For me, I saw a picture with my daughter, right? And I think it's definitely a wake-up call. And that gets you, I think it's a really good catalyst to get you started down the right path. But probably as you go along, you learn something a little deeper that's going to keep you going. Because even that picture is enough for a shock. But then if you're 4 months deep and that you're just leaning on that one picture, you're like, well, I just don't have to look at it and I just do what I did before.
Right.
Because I think a lot of the questions I asked you when you asked for help weren't even about nutrition. It was like, hey, where do you want to be?
Yeah.
Like, what kind of life do you want to live and how do you want it to be? So like projecting that vision of what you wanted was more important than the picture is definitely, everyone needs their thing that gets you, kicked in the ass to get going.
Yeah.
For me, like when we talk, I was big, just to give a couple stories, right? Like I've broken chairs. I've used to sit in chairs and rip my pants because my pockets would catch on them, right? I'd have to shop only at like Old Navy, like the biggest size clothes you can possibly imagine, right? Like I got, here's a bad one. I was at Magic Mountain, kicked off a ride because I could not fit in it.
Oh, shit.
So we're talking big. I'm not like a couple pounds overweight here. Yeah. So if you're listening to this, I'll post a picture with the notes so people can see.
Okay.
But I think what got to me, so once the catalyst kicked me off, I think when I look back now, so much stuff happens in our lives it's not in our control. Right? Like any day, any minute, something can happen. But what you choose to eat or do or how you take care of yourself is 100% within your control. And so I think for me, having a daughter definitely helped be my catalyst, but I just wasn't doing my best. Like that was not a representation of who I was. And so that really pissed me off I know I'm better than what I'm putting out.
Yeah.
And so for me, that became a stronger why behind being fit and losing weight. It was definitely like the scare factor got me going in the direction, but then it was just like, you know what? Like I can do better. I can be better. And I wanted to, work into that.
Yeah. Well, and I said, we're not going to talk a lot about strategy, but I'm going to give you my 30-second strategy that my translation, I should say, of the 30-second strategy that you gave to me, and I'll let you fill in the gaps and go into some details, which basically what you told me was drink water, get better sleep, eat real shit, lift heavy shit. Done. That was basically it. Okay.
It's a good summary.
Yeah. And the hard part about it is we can't really build a program around that because, this is 4 bullet points, but that was it. That was really what I remember you telling me. And then there, of course, accountability, follow through, all those different things are incredibly important, but share with us, maybe some of the strategic things, and I know, I don't know if Mark Sisson and Primal had entered at that point for you or where it was in your journey, but I know that was a strategy that you implemented as well. But talk to us a little bit about that journey, and then we're going to spend a lot more time on the backside just talking more about the psychology and then how you've done it for the last 10 years. It's one thing to get it off, but to keep it off is a whole nother thing.
Yeah. So a little bit on the strategy. I think what you said there is really great. If you're just walk a lot, drink lots of water as a starting point, get sweaty, couple times a week, lift some heavy stuff, and eat real stuff that comes from the earth. Like that's the most baseline, strategy. But a lot of people, if you
I remember you telling me a lot of different colors.
Yep, eat the rainbow.
Eat the rainbow. That's right.
Yeah, eat the rainbow. That's what we talk about with my kids. But I think just drinking water, moving a lot, eating real food. Those are like such basic things, but most people know that, right? So it is really that basic. I think we try to, if you imagine you're trying to like, chisel a statue out of a mountain, right? You don't start by going sniper level details on stuff. You just take big whacks at things. Like,
Yes.
Are you, what's the one thing? Are you drinking calories? So is there anything with sugar in what you drink, right? If yes, just stop that.
Yeah.
Stop that for like a month and see what happens. Go to diet soda from regular soda, right? I think people try to go from like just to perfection, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's little stuff you can do
Yeah.
that if you just kind of take these big whacks at it, and then as you get further and further along, like, okay, maybe I should cut out bread now. Cool, try it, But you're taking these big whacks, you're kind of dropping 10, 15 pounds at a time over time. It's when you get lower and lower, that's when you get really detailed in how you get like, I think so early on, I'll probably recommend too much to people with being too tactical.
Yeah.
When really in the beginning, it's like move more, sleep, lift some stuff up once in a while and just start small.
Well, it's so funny because people want to know, they'll go like, okay, so what's the workout routine you do? You go, dude, lift heavy stuff. Just start lifting. Walk around with the kettlebells in your hand or something,
It's like, can you do 100 push-ups? Nope, start there.
There you go.
Like 100 push-ups, 100 air squats.
There you go.
Try that. If you haven't worked out, that will wreck you.
Oh man, that is so good. So, okay. So you start seeing some progress. And, I think one of the other areas that people and myself have fallen prey to is we start seeing some progress and we go, oh man, I'm pretty good. I got this thing licked. And that is recipe for disaster.
Yep.
How do you stay on it? How?
Yeah, I think you and I talked about this a little bit. It's I became a different person than I was, right? So it wasn't like I got into CrossFit. I know people are going to hear that and be like, this guy with his feelings, emotions, and CrossFit now. But say what you want about CrossFit, but it's a great. I mean, I learned a ton about nutrition and exercise, and yeah, you can beat it up if you're gonna split hairs on exactly the best way to lift. But it got me moving. I created a new lifestyle for myself. And I know you had a similar experience with jiu-jitsu, right? So maybe you can talk through your experience there too.
Yeah.
But for me, if I didn't sleep well or eat right or lean up, when I went into my gym, which was now a new part of my life, going to this place, I wasn't going to keep up. And so just having this new lifestyle, people who I was accountable to, right? Because like, hey, you're ready for to throw down this wad today?
Yeah.
Right? So I'm curious, like when you started jiu-jitsu,
Yeah.
did that play a factor into how you kept on eating well?
Oh my gosh. It was such a huge part because, first of all, everyone that I'm training with is a good 10, 15, 20 years younger than me. Okay. And way more experienced, and no one is out of shape. And here I am. And so I'm having trouble just completing the warm up, not the training, not the drilling, not rolling. I can't even complete warm up because my fat ass is, I can't breathe. I can't, whatever. And then on top of it, wearing this horse blanket of a gi on top of me that, I feel like is suffocating me. But coming back and being in that environment and literally just making the decision, I'm just going to continue to show up. Whether I get through it all or not, just keep showing up.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about forging stronger fathers, right? And I think you forge this kind of new discipline and this new strength in going through this stuff because I don't want to go and get my ass kicked at a workout or in jiu-jitsu. Like if I
get embarrassed.
Yeah, because I mean, I went to jiu-jitsu and I get my ass kicked because everyone's better than me and I'm an idiot and I'm a white belt.
Right.
But that it's either gonna when I went to the CrossFit gym and the coach is like, okay, come over here and try to do a pull-up, and I can't do one, and people are doing 100 next to me. Like I'm either gonna give up and go hide in a hole, or I'm gonna be the different person and be like, okay, I'm gonna work towards it. And I think you had a good call out too. I mean, you cannot be embarrassed to go because people want you to succeed when you go to these new environments, especially in the fitness world. I mean, jiu-jitsu, in my experience at the Jit Pit was everyone wanted to see you succeed.
Right.
If you're not doing well, they're not going to say, "Oh, look at that fatty." Well, they might have ribbed you a little bit, but they're they want you to succeed. So, but for me, being part of that new community, new accountability. Like if I didn't do that, and say I'm just going to sit there and play video games all night and order pizzas. Like my lifestyle had to change, and I have the new people, surround myself with different people who drive you in a different way was really helpful.
Did that lifestyle change happen all at once, or was it slowly but surely a little different decision? How was it for you?
Little different decision. I would do, sometimes let me try running, right? That's not awesome. So I think
running sucks.
Yeah, running sucks. I tried cycling.
Okay.
Look, I'm just going to turn off everyone listening to this, like cycling, CrossFit.
Yeah.
Cycling's not too bad, I guess.
No.
I didn't dress like it, so we're okay. So I tried different things, and then I was always looking for something that I enjoyed. So I think that's the key strategic piece right there, right? Like find something you like.
Yeah.
And so you don't have to go and do CrossFit. You don't have to go and do jiu-jitsu. If you love cycling, do it. I mean, if you get on a bike and you want to do that every day, like you'll have success. Just throw some push-ups or some lift something heavy in there. But I think I experimented a lot over time, trying different things, and then good things like experimenting on.
Well, you go hiking. You take your kids hiking. You've done all of that as well. All right, I have a question for you. Was there a moment where you kind of, I don't know, whether you stepped on a scale or you looked at a picture and you go, it's working. Like that one moment you go, like you had that first little glimmer of success and you go, holy crap. Like
for me, there's a couple of these. For me, one of the big first ones was a pull-up.
Okay.
Legitimately doing a pull-up. Because I was thought to myself before when I was like really big, I was like, man, if I fell in a hole and had to get out, like I couldn't. Like that's pretty shitty.
Yeah.
It's like,
but real.
It's like if I wanted to get out of there, I couldn't. I'm like, that's not acceptable. I feel like at least as a baseline human, you should be able to
get out of a hole.
At least pull yourself up and over something, right? So I remember I was at a 24-hour fitness and I did a pull up, and I probably just did that imaginary lat syndrome. I was walking off like chest all puffed, all proud that I'd done one.
Yeah.
So that was a good one. I think seeing pictures of myself, or was it funny? My sister, if she listens to this one, it's funny. She saw me after a while. She's like, "Wow, it looks like you have like bones in your face." It's like the most backhanded compliment from a sister ever. Because I have a strong jaw now, but before it's just like a round, And then I really that was a lot of the physical, like what I saw, but from like medical, like my resting heart rate started dropping, and then going to the doctor, and I was on blood pressure medication for over a decade. I'm no longer on it, just off medicine.
Wow.
So that was like the big one probably. And then finally doing I did like a DEXA scan at one point just to kind of see what my makeup was. Like, oh yeah, you're normal. You're not even obese.
Wow.
And it's just like, it's weird because in my mind, I still, living as a big kid or being overweight for your whole life.
Yeah.
Psychologically, it's really hard to like make that switch to be like, oh, you're actually just healthy. So that's a couple examples there.
So now all these, because I mean, you've basically had the weight off for coming up on a decade. Okay. Do you still catch yourself kind of seeing yourself in that old image?
Oh yeah.
That old fat kid image?
Yeah.
Still,
I don't know if I'll ever get past. I have a good buddy, Justin, who we work out all the time, and he's always giving me crap because he's only known me. There's people who've known me who've crossed over.
Right.
And that was a weird transition, right? Because people are like, oh, you're always like the fattest one. What happened? And people who know me now, like Steven, he didn't even know.
Right.
And so I still get in this like, oh, maybe I shouldn't eat that, or I shouldn't eat this food. And he's like, just eat good stuff. I'm always like trying to reduce, I'll still have a bad cycle of trying to like restrict myself too much, and then maybe I'll binge a little more, because I'm like, oh, you don't deserve to eat that. Like weird internal mind games.
Yeah.
So that's something I probably just have to work through continually, but it's definitely better than it was.
Okay. So, because this was for me, food, I wouldn't say food was scarce, but it was at times used as a reward. Okay. Hey, won a big game. Hey, let's go grab ice cream. There's something, kind of like that. Were there some connections with food that you had that have been hard to break, but you go, I still want to have a life. Okay, Molly makes like beautiful cookies.
Ridiculous. I crushed 3 last night. So
yeah. So you still want to have a life and enjoy it. And you want to be able to teach your kids, listen, you can have a cookie. You don't eat the whole cookie jar. Right?
Yeah. I think what I try to focus on now is not, I'll still use food as a way to not punish myself, but just be like, oh, you don't deserve that. Like, okay, you had a bad weekend of eating. Like, guess what? You don't get any carbs for the next week. I'll still have these weird internal battles.
Yeah.
So as I'm trying to teach my kids is what I wish I learned originally. Eat well because you deserve it. Don't eating healthy or being fit is not you're rewarding yourself. You're taking care of your body and you're giving have a salad because it's just amazing for you and it's going to make you feel really good.
Yeah.
Not because you're punishing yourself that you can't have French fries. And so we try to teach them eat the rainbow. So for them, they try to eat all the colors each day.
Love that.
Or if you're an adult, it kind of be a pain in the ass to eat your colors every day unless you're having shakes. But pick 2 or 3 colors a week and just get a bunch of vegetables and fruits in those color groups. Right. So maybe it's carrots, orange peppers, zucchini, broccoli this week. And next week you're like, oh, I'll pick up some red grapes and some purple you just kind of mix it up throughout the year. Mm-hmm. Yeah, as a good small tactic.
So,
but
look, you dropping bombs all over the place right there. Okay, now you have your kids young, healthy, vibrant, getting after it. They never knew Fatty Dad.
They see pictures. Sometimes I just show them pictures and be like, what do you think of that? Looks like you ate too much, Dad.
I mean, do they recognize you or do they go, are you sure?
They definitely recognize it, but especially with my young one, Leroy, who's kind of look at the picture, look at me.
Yeah.
Look a little sideways.
Yeah.
Just try to mess with them.
Well, and what a great job that you have done. Let's talk about, the kids. So you've talked about, teaching them to eat the rainbow, but getting them to be active, to make healthy choices and letting them make choices, I think is incredibly important as well. So talk to us about how we navigate that with our kids. And
it's tough. Kids can be, you have to walk the walk. If you're a parent and you're trying to tell them to eat fruits and vegetables and you're not doing it, they're just not going to follow. So that's part of the lifestyle piece is you have to set the example for them. Mm-hmm. And so that's a big part. And then we just kind of, we have a set number, set kind of meals we do with them. And we give them some flexibility within it, right? We kind of know what they like, but we try to have a lot of fresh fruits and vegetables on hand. We do these things called paleo plates for them, which it's really, we try to keep things, I know I gave a talk one time about fast food and people go, it's fast food, it's so easy. I'm like, I give my kids, if I'm in a pinch, sandwich meat, a banana, and a handful of almonds.
I've seen videos of you throwing lunch meat at your child.
I will do that. But I think there's a concept that, feeding your kids healthy meals is time consuming or expensive even. And it's just not. I mean, if you have a bag of snap peas, an apple, and some sandwich meat and some nuts, that's a full complete meal, colors of the rainbow. And it's easy. It takes me, a minute and a half to throw on a plate. Mm. So I think a lot of it is just, stop making excuses because people will tend to say, oh, I don't have time to cook or time to do healthy meals. You got to make time if that's important to you and prioritizing it. I think getting lots of, fruits and nuts are awesome, and sandwich meat. Those are so easy. Right. And then, I'm trying to think if any of my kids are really picky. We still let them have, macaroni and cheese, but sometimes I'll try to make it and try to make it a little better, a little healthier. Mm-hmm. So really, you have to prioritize it. You got to make time to buy nutritious foods, and you have to you have to walk the walk alongside them. If you have healthy food in your house, you yourself are eating it, they're going to follow.
Yeah. All right. So
that'd be my advice.
All right. So we're going to step a little bit to the side of that and go, so Molly knew you, Big KT. She fell in love with Big KT.
I don't know how.
Okay. Yeah. Was there anything in y'all's relationship that changed as a result of fit?
Yeah, well, actually, so she lost a lot of weight too.
Okay. So kind of did the journey together?
A little bit. So I started.
Okay.
And she was not really into what I was trying. So I was like, whatever, I'm just gonna go. Sometimes you gotta be strong and just do it.
Yeah.
And so I remember one time she told me she might be embarrassed by this one. She was folding like shirts or something, and she got one of mine, and she wasn't sure whose it was, and she's like, "Oh shit, I should probably just do what he's doing." And so she kind of switched over. She ended up losing, I think, hers was around 70 or 80 pounds.
Wow. So between the two of you,
it was a lot. It was like
almost 200 pounds.
It was at one point, it was like the amount of weight we had lost was my entire weight that I was at.
No way. Wow.
It was like 220 total between us.
So, so real quick, so backing up a little bit. So you're starting your journey. You're starting to have some success, some results and everything else. And she's not quite on board. Mm-hmm. Ooh. Like, how is that?
It was definitely challenging, but I remember just being like, I don't care. Like, I'm going to just set the pace and just go and just, I want to be healthy. That's where it's important. You have, your individuals in a relationship. So if something's important to you, and that was to me, where I just kind of, I wasn't just like a total ass about it. Right. But I was just, I'm going to eat healthy. And when the choices came, I was like, nope, I'm not having the bread. Like, I'm eating this.
Yeah.
And so I just kept making choices, and, we're not big on eating out much anyways. So it wasn't like a change to our total lifestyle.
Yeah.
Right. It was just like less on we used to love to like college game days and nachos and beer. Right.
Oh, dude.
It's kind of, I spoke your love language.
Oh my gosh.
So I think I'll have to ask her about it, because I don't think it was, at the time I remember just like personally thinking like, I'm going to do this regardless of if she's on board or not. Yeah. And it wasn't in a bad way. It was just kind of like, I'm going to do this for me.
All right. Next question is this. What are some of the ancillary benefits that have been from, changing your physique? You've talked about your kids, you've talked about your relationship with Molly. Are there any other things that have happened that had you not made this change, that other than just physical, that, you see are benefits that maybe you didn't even think about before?
I think on that one, I mean, I can pretty much do anything physically that I want to. Mm-hmm. Like that sounds, I don't know, it sounds bad, but like I live in Colorado, and I have a friend who says, hey, let's go hike this mountain tomorrow. I'm like, oh, sure.
Let's go do it.
I don't even think about it.
You could go to Space Mountain and be able to ride.
I can fit on roller coasters.
Okay.
I think. But I think for me, it's just keeping up with my kids. Like I have two young boys, and they're starting to get, I'm getting a little nervous, honestly, about their wrestling and just how rough they're getting with me. But just, I'm not restricted. I think it's just the freedom of like, I have this, body I can use and go do these things.
Yeah.
Which it's like not like I don't walk up. I'll be at be somewhere with people and walking up flights of stairs, and at the top they just can't even talk. And it's like I don't even think about that stuff.
Right. And
so I do think physicality and just being fit and healthy, and being lucky enough to have be in a healthy place medically, and just being able to go out and enjoy the world and be with my kids and do sports, go hiking, go. Even if I wasn't into those things, if I have to, I can. It's just not even, it's one less thing you have to worry about. Right. So I think it's what we talked about before, like whether it's financial or your fitness, right? Or your friendships, right? If you have that kind of locked away, there's not like a ticking time bomb waiting there. I mean, there could be medically just things that can happen that you don't know.
Yeah.
But I've done what I can there. So it's just, it's a freedom of mind.
Yeah.
It's probably the biggest.
Well, I'll tell you, for me, energy was one of the biggest things that I wanted. As much as I wanted to, I think I told you one of the things I wanted is, I said, I want to look good naked. I think that was one of the words that I used. I want to look good naked. But I was also, I want to have more energy, more sustainable energy, where it's not just an effort. And then I remember telling Justin early on, in jiu-jitsu, I said, one of the biggest things I just want to feel athletic again. I lost feeling athletic. And I remember, this was a couple years ago. We were at football practice, and something happened, and I was doing something, and I was running around, with some of the kids, and I was like, I remember thinking afterward, I was like, dude, I was out there. I was being athletic again, and it just felt so good. I don't know that you've had this experience so much so, but I know psychologically it can play tricks on us, whether we're going interviewing for a job or looking for a client or something like that. And we're constantly, because we're in our skin all the time, and going, I remember thinking, I wonder how someone's looking at me now. Are they going to go, well, I don't want to invest with him, or I don't want to do business with him, or, it's just that natural barrier. That first thing that they would see would be, this meat suit that I'm wearing, this fat suit that I'm wearing around all the time. And I think some of the benefits, that came about, was not that I feel like I ever really lacked a ton of confidence, but it gave me a greater confidence for sure.
Oh yeah, I think the energy is a big call out, because having energy is being vibrant, like zestful. Like you just have this like personality on you, and
Yep.
It plays a huge role. Yeah, if you go interview places and you just like, it's not even like, oh, we hired him because he's pretty or handsome. It's not even that. It's just you bring an energy about you.
But you are pretty and handsome.
It's true. This is true. But you bring us, when you have that energy, I mean, it's almost contagious, and it definitely helps you out. Just from, I've been in meetings where it's just, or like a long haul at work, and just being, for whatever reason, having that extra bit of energy helps you in other parts of life that aren't just on the basketball court or while hiking. It's just in anything you do.
I'm going to give you one more. And I know as soon as I say this, you're going to echo it, and you're going to be like, oh, yeah. But one of the incredible ancillary benefits for you has been you've been able to tell your story to other people and the impact that you're having on them. I know with the company you were with before, you got a chance to speak. I think you're in New York. You did a presentation, a huge company, and people were like, they didn't know you before, but then they saw you in your progression through this, and you started realizing, the impact. And you had obviously a big impact on my life as well, but the impact that you could have on people's lives just by telling your story.
Yeah, I mean, I love the idea that you can just be the light in the world in whatever area you're in. And so for me, this was an opportunity to share it with people. And it's helped my mom's lost a ton of weight, and she's super healthy, right? And it's awesome to see. And then my kids, I know they're little animals now. This is gonna be awesome. But you can inspire people around you when you make a difference in your life. I mean, it's extremely valuable for those in your work world, in your friendship group, in your family. So even if you're thinking of, if there's people around you that you wish were healthier and you got healthy, it will happen.
That is so good.
Right.
I mean, you literally live in front of us. Gandhi, what do you say? Become the change we want to see in the world. You have become that change, not just physically, but that spills over into so many different areas.
Yeah, I mean, I think with fitness especially, if you're under a heavy barbell or someone's choking you out in jiu-jitsu, right? And you have to mentally go to a place to get out of it. I mean, you're honing your skill to get through hard stuff.
Yeah.
And that translates, I am convinced that translates outside of the office or outside of the gym, right? You're conditioning yourself to get through really hard moments. And yes, not one-to-one if you have a difficulty in a relationship, but being in an uncomfortable place is normal for you.
Yeah.
And so learning how to kind of consistently get through it, that's been a big, I think aside from, I assume the aesthetic things, right? Like, oh, I'll look better, I can wear better clothes, I'll look nicer, but it's just, energy or impacting those around me, or like learning how to do hard things and having discipline.
Yeah.
Right. That's been those are the intangible things you get out of it.
Well, KT, I really appreciate your vulnerability, today and sharing this, and your authenticity. I want to make sure we get all the words out for you as well. I'd be greatly remiss if I didn't share this. When you and I visited, I wish go back and we could look and see when it was, but we sat down, you did such a wonderful job of helping me just to put down some goals. And I remember it was, I'll call it a year later. It was some 9 months or a year later. You brought that list back to me. Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
It
was awesome. I was going through some old stuff, and I was like, oh, it's been a year. And I actually kind of forgot about it, because I think 6 months in to when you and I were like doing health coaching, you basically just like, oh, this is my new lifestyle now. And I think probably your progression in jiu-jitsu really helped you just stay on it. It was really good. But at some point I pulled up an old email. I was like, oh, what's this? I was like, holy crap, this is his old questionnaire that I made him fill out, or made you fill out before we, started working together. And I looked through everyone. I was like, holy crap, he hit every goal. And I remember showing it to you. I was like, dude, you did all of that. And I remember you got almost emotional looking at it, because I had almost forgotten about, because you had done so well, and you just been going the way, but just to look back and be like, man, I wonder how much that vision and goal setting really helped you.
Yeah, absolutely. So we want to make this available to other guys. I don't know. Who knows if we'll ever figure out how to monetize things or not, but if people want to get better, they want to work on their physical health, and I go, I look at this area right here and I go, this has such a huge impact on all areas of our life. Our finances, our relationships, I dare to even say even our relationship with God. I mean, all of these different areas, this is one that once we start moving, we start taking some action in this, it just has a huge ripple effect in so many different areas. And it's one of those that's so tangible. It's so easy to grab a hold of.
Yeah, for most people, there's some people with medical things going on or disabilities, and we know it's not as feasible. Yep. But for most people, this is so within your control.
Yeah.
100% in your control to change. Right. So sometimes financially you can make decisions. You wait. You can do things. But you can wait on it. And it takes some time. You can literally get up tomorrow, drink a bunch of water, and go for a walk, and you're gonna already be making progress.
Yeah.
That fast.
So if guys want to get in contact with us, you start talking about this, I don't know, if they want to do coaching, whatever, just get some ideas. I think people are not lacking for strategy. They may think they need some strategy. Okay, we'll give them some strategy, but more communication and, the psychology side and some accountability. How they get in touch with us?
Yeah, I said just send us a message either on Instagram, drop a DM to us, or on the website. Just put in a comment saying, hey, I'd love to talk more about health and nutrition, or health and nutrition, or fitness, or whatever it is, and let's start there. I think just connect to us through any of our social media or on the website. Just go on there and say contact us, send a message, and it'll get to us directly. So I'll just start there and start a conversation. More than happy to talk to folks about where to go. We're also plugged into some pretty cool fitness coaches.
Yeah,
different people we know in the area too. Different gyms, especially jiu-jitsu gyms.
Yeah.
When we're allowed to roll again.
Well, and I've got a great app that I'm working with. Actually, the guy's coaching me right now, Kyle. So Kyle's been on a couple times, and it's so great just to be able to put together some programs. So we can work with guys on that. So if you get in contact with us, we'll work together. We want to help people achieve their goals, and really more than anything we want to be able to share the story. Share real quick, because you have a website also, a separate website. Do you still have it up?
I don't think I have it anymore.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll find some place where you can post it so you can put it on our website.
And we definitely have, if people are interested in the health and nutrition and coaching side of things, it's definitely part of the website we can build out. So we'd love feedback if you're listening to this. We kind of jumped all around the place, but we can definitely get super deep on tactical info, because some people need really hardcore plans. Some people want accountability. Mm-hmm. So there's different resources out there. Happy to put it out there. Let us know.
Good. Well, guys, hey, get this area under control. This is one that we can make a huge impact on our lives in so many different ways. And, it's hard to be a badass dad if you're a fat ass dad.
Agreed.
Okay. And so let's be a badass dad. Let's have a badass day. And we are out. Wait. Steven, stop the music. Okay. If you listen this far, give me 87 more seconds. All I want you to do is please subscribe, leave us a review, leave us a 5-star rating. Do that now. You listen this far, just go ahead and leave us that quick review. Also, go to the Instagram. Follow us on the Instagram, the Badass Dads Podcast there. Go on Facebook. You can follow us there. Go to our website, BadAssDads.org. Register there. You can get all the up-to-date everything from behind the scenes. Get this stuff. You can also find some swag, t-shirts and hats and mugs and different things, notebooks there. So please, you listen to this far, give us a few more seconds. Have a badass day.